This topic is investigation and analysis of middle school students' life stress and depression tendency. An example of the private middle school in Taipei City. This our content. Introduction. Youth depression and self-harm often appear in the news. If we could understand the causes of depression, it may help reduce the possibility of depression and even suicide. Our research purposes. First, understand the correct depression tendency and the life stress of middle school students. Second is understand whether there are difference in the depression tendency and the life stress status of middle school students of different grader and graders. Third is understand the correlation between depression tendency and the life stress status. Literature review. Depression causes. The causes of depression is mostly based on biological, psychological factors. Most studies indicate that major life stress events were the influencing factor of depression. Taipei Community Mental Health Center found that most depression symptoms were more obvious under pressure. Literature review life stress. And most studies on the resources of stress for teenagers have found that most of them focus on the challenge of school, interpersonal relationship, and family events. This research also hopes to implement a three-level complex counseling system based on the ecosystem theory. By understanding the life pressure and the depression tendency of middle school students as an early warning measurement. Establishment of the life stress scale and the PHQ-9 reliability analysis of the PHQ-9. We can see the crown batch alpha is 0.84. It's better. And the life stress scale. School stress is 0.84. Family stress it was 0.843. And interpersonal stress was 0.887 and total is 0.928. Factor analysis of the PHQ-9. The KMO value was greater than 0.7, so it was suitable for factor analysis. So we can see behavior factor where 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. And the psychological factor were 1, 2, 6, and 9. Validity analysis of life stress scale and the PHQ-9. NFI, CFI, GFI, all greater than 0.9, indicating that the model has an ideal fit. Correlating status of life stress and depression tendency of middle school students. Correlated status of life stress of middle school students. The leverage of the three questions about 3, 9, and 8 in the scale is higher than 2, which shows that the subject feel slightly stressed by the stressor at school. Because in Taiwan, middle school was the most critical moment in the adventure state. Most students or parents will hope that private school can prove better learning or management, so that students have better competitiveness in extra examination. Correct status of depression tendency of middle school students. The average score of the scale was 5.13, which shows that the correlator general high school students have some negative emotion, and some negative emotion are normal. Difference in life stress and depression tendency in middle school students of different grades. A survey of the difference in life stress between male and female in middle school. Only the 4 and 28 question has significant difference in each item. A survey of the difference in depression tendency between male and female in middle school. We found 2 questions. Females feeling well, high higher than males. At the scale level, they were significantly different in the psychological level, and the female had a higher degree of perception. Difference in life stress of depression tendency of middle school students in different grades. Investigate whether there were differences in life stress among middle school students of different grades. We can see the 9 question. 9th grade students significantly higher than 7th grade students. Issue that the 9th grade students still have center pressure and expectation to the entrance examination of the senior high school. Investigate whether they were different in depression tendency among middle school students of different grades. The 7th question was different. The difference among which the feeling level of 9th grade student was significantly higher than that of 7th grade student may be caused by the immediate pressure of 9th grade students facing mock exams and entrance exams. The relationship between life stress and depression tendency. Correlation analysis of middle school students' life stress and depression tendency. Depression tendency status is significantly related to life stress with a correlation coefficient of 0.6 at 1. The model fits assistance. The causes relationship between life stress of middle school students and the depression tendency. Correlation and analysis of middle school students' life stress and the depression tendency. The model fitting analysis results show that the RMSEA value was 0.143. NNFI was 1.91 and the CFI was 0.96. Both reached the standards of 0.9. It means that this model was well adapted. So we can see the picture. Life stress total effect was 0.84. conclusion and suggestion. It can be suggested to collector the current situation of life stress which conducing the study of depression tendency and the data collection, which will help the counselor to have a more comprehensive understanding of the research object. Second, we can to expand the scope of research and conduct research on students from public and private middle school in Northern Taiwan. Thank you for your listening.